Hey everyone, this is Yatuza with D&B Academy, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you guys how I usually go about making techie or dark drum bass tracks. So we're going to go through this breakdown. I'm going to be showing you guys all the techniques that I use. So without further ado, let's go into the program. Alright, so before we get started, let's go ahead and take a listen to the loop. Cool. So I'm going to show you guys how I went ahead and did this idea. Let me go ahead and unfreeze the layers so you guys can hear them properly and see the post-processing that I've done with them. So let's go ahead and start with the bass bus this time. So we've got multiple amount of basses here, and I'll show you what each of them is doing. So for the first one shot here, it's just kind of like a greasy type of sound. Kind of a bass I've generated with a sine wave and a saw wave with the fundamental cut off. A retone. And with the noise, it's getting distorted and it adds that gritty layer, as you can hear. So that's just a short snippet there. Right. And so for the response of that, I've got this bass kind of motif here. And so this is a patch that's divided in two layers. Let's go ahead and play this. So as you can hear, it is layered right here. I am actually exaggerating some of the overtones. Let me just turn off all the post-processing so you guys can hear this. And I'm going to put serum out of this layer actually, so you can hear what it sounds like without it. This is with it. So let me just turn these off actually individually because I think that didn't work. Right, so this is the mid layer. And I'm just going to turn off all the post-processing. You can hear the original patch, what it sounds like. Cool. So this is what the original patch sounds like. Let's go into the serum patch again. It's a similar patch as the first bass, as you can hear. The only thing that changes here is the LFO. And I have it in envelope mode and have it so it loops back from this certain kind of transient point here, or LFO shape, and that's modifying the actual cutoff. And then I have it so that the cutoff is gradually opening up every half a bar, and it's re-triggering every time I press the note. So that's why it sounds like there's more decay in that sound. Then for the effects, I'm distorting it, adding some filter modulation, and distorting it some more here at the end. But the real magic really comes from the actual post-processing bit. So this is just the low end now. Basically, all I've done is just filtered that bass how it is. And for the actual mid layers, it's the same kind of bass that we've got going on there in the first patch. All I've done is just duplicate it, so this is what it sounds like. And so here I'm pushing certain frequencies here with the EQ, double EQ. Right, and then I'm adding some thermal. I think this is on the Funk Hunter preset. And then apart from that, I'm adding some OTT. That's where all that brightness comes from. And then here I'm just EQing all the low end from it. And that's what it sounds like here. Right, so I've really kind of separated that that sound from the actual sub-low and post-process it in a way where it's a little bit more resonant. So yeah, that's what it sounds like basically with that effect. Right, so there I'm boosting those frequencies, and that's why it sounds like very tonal. And then running it through distortion to give you that grittiness. And then I just have it on the third beat here without that post-processing, so it's just coming straight out of Serum with that tonality. Right. And that is pretty much it for that bass buzz. So as you can see, it's the same bass patch, and I've just duplicated it like 3 times and post-process it differently, actually 4 times, and this is the result that I get from that same bass patch. Right? They sound like different basses just because I am modulating them quite different. Then on the second kind of portion here, I just have it so that it runs on a different distortion. So I have it so that another thermal turns on here, and on the second bit, second 16 bars, I have aggro waves preset, so this changes the texture of the distortion. Cool. And then, yeah, of course I have like an effects in the background. But let's go ahead and look at this Reese that I also have down here, because that sounds right. Very noisy type of Respace that I've created here. But I was kind of going for that, right? So here what I've got is a saw wave without the fundamental again, and I have a sine wave that I've kind of synced here. And there's some auto pan movement here at the end. That's what it sounds kind of like it glitches out. So here it's the sine wave again with the saw wave without the fundamental, and then I'm adding the harmonic at the end with this kind of synced sine wave that we got here, and also then the main kind of movement comes from the actual filter opening up. Alright, so that gives it that kind of soft texture there, and then the noise along with the distortion gives you that grit. So I've got hyperdimension, some distortion here, an asymmetrical distortion, and then on the high end I have tube distortion and growlish convolution. So really helps to give it that texture that it's kind of like popping out of the speaker, or that it's really bright. But yeah, that's going to be it for the Respace. And so that's basically my response at the end of every bars. And then as you can hear in the background, I've got FX riser. So this I made with the operator, and this is just a sine wave pitching up. And so it's a sine wave which then I gradually insert noise and auto pan into. As you can hear, the kind of tail of it gets really noisy, and then I'm automating the amount of the erosion as well as the amount of the auto pan, and the rate is slowing down near the end here. And then I've just EQ'd that and added some thermal. So thermal adds an interesting type of texture, and this one has also reverb and flanger, so that gives it a little bit more movement to the sine wave and the sound. And I've just I put a compressor on there to sidechain the snare, so that every time that the snare comes in, it gets stuck down in volume. That doesn't interfere with any of my high frequencies, and that gives a really cool sensation of a riser, right? So it's very cool there. And apart from that, I've just got I think the tail of that same sound, just in reverse. And then we can take a look at the drums, which are very minimal as well. Got a little fill before the actual drum kit. Then just got the kick. I made this on kick 3, as I usually do. These are part of my drum loops for my personal sample packs. Snare. This time I was lazy. I didn't take the hi-hat out of my loop, so I just kept it there. And whenever I trigger the sidechain, I just make sure that the threshold is just hitting the peak of my actual clap or snare that I've got here. So I've just got a hi-hat on the 3rd beat, and I believe the main kind of groove is coming from this white noise layer that's on the kick and snare. But yeah, as you can see, really simple track. Apart from the post-processing of the bass, the arrangement is really simple. And it's an idea I wanted to show you guys of how I would approach techy or dark drum and bass, in my kind of taste or version. So again, this is Yatuza with D&B Academy, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications for our next upload. See you on the next one.